Hey Beatle Brunchers, it's Joe Johnson, host of Beatle Brunch. You are Fab Fourantined. I'm sure that means you're quarantined inside your house with nothing but your extensive Beatles collection. And that could last a lifetime if you're me or if you're some friends that I know that have just massive collections. But the best thing about being inside, as I've mentioned before, we get to really, if you have the time, to explore some of the Beatle items that we never have. And I've taken you in the studio, I've taken you over here where I had my little guitars, Beatle guitars, and some other stuff, and some non-Beatle stuff. I like classic cars and that kind of thing too. But over here, I don't get a chance to really appreciate my books a lot. I've got a lot of Beatle books, and almost all of them I've started reading, but most of them I haven't. So I just wanted to tell you about a couple of them. This is a book that Derek Taylor, he used to be the Beatles, kind of in charge of Apple or that situation, and he wrote this in 1968, I think. And honestly, if you read the book, he doesn't really put his heart into it. He's like, oh, they want me to write this book. It's got some good anecdotes in it, but it's not my favorite. This, of course, is Peter Asher. As you know, he's on the Flower Power Rock and Romance cruises. He's got a show on Sirius XM, and his book is fantastic, The Beatles A to Z. I could talk about it for hours. It's alphabetical, but it's not alphabetical by song title. It's very creative the way he's done it. I haven't read this yet. This is Ray Connolly, The Beatles Archives. This is a book on record. Spencer Lee, he's a BBC writer and presenter, they call it, on the radio. He's a fantastic guy. He writes very good books. Ken Womack, you can't go wrong. His story of the Abbey Road and the end of the Beatles, which is pretty appropriate for this year. And then I have a couple of others. This actually, it's about Manson, but it's really written by Ivor Davis, and Ivor Davis is the author that did The Beatles and Me on tour. He toured with them in '64, and he wrote a terrific book about that. But he also interviewed Manson, and so anyway, he's got some cool stuff, and that's a little more disturbing than anything. This is written by Leslie Cavendish. He was at Beatles on the Beach in 2019. He was the Beatles barber or hairstylist, and he's the one to blame or give credit for those Beatle haircuts. But this book is really not about the Beatles, but it does mention them. Tommy James, one of my favorite books. This came out probably 10 years ago. It's called Me, the Mob, and the Music, Hell of a Ride with Tommy James and the Shondells. It's actually being made into a movie right now because it's very mob-related. But in this book, you'll just hear Tommy James talking a million times about how much he loves the Beatles. So get that book if you can. I've got some other stuff here we'll look at another time. But those are just kind of the Joe J. book collection. But I started the video by showing this elephant. Can we get another shot of the elephant over here? The elephant in the room. So I thought I would start with this picture, my wife's picture of this elephant. It's really beautiful, and I wanted to ask you if you know what Beatles song features an elephant in the lyrics. Okay, I could easily tell you, but I'd rather you put it in the comments below, either on Facebook or on YouTube here, or on Twitter, because there is a Beatles song that mentions an elephant, and just want to let you know, I haven't even told my wife, and she loves elephants. Okay, we're Fab Fourantined. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm sorry if I drolled on a little bit, but I've got a lot to do. I'm very busy not working. So, talk to you soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye.